And good morning, guys. Bob, K6UDA, in the house. How you doing? Monday, I was absolutely lagging on it this weekend. Didn't get things done that I wanted to get done for the show, including a video, because we were busy doing stuff like hanging Christmas lights and all that good stuff. But got a great show for you today. I gotta say, my guest today, Scott Herring, KK7AIR. This guy is fascinating to listen to. He's even a better friend. He's a friend from the old country. We used to hang together at all the ham radio stuff that we did together, and we were actually going to do a lot of flying stuff, which hasn't materialized quite yet, but it still will. Let's see. Couple of quick mentions here. Clarence, N0SPW, here in the house in Twin Falls. Clarence, how you doing? Scott, K0WAV, in the house from Colorado. Arthur, W6HER from Rancho Cordova, in the house. Let's see, MR Rice, better known as WB5, KWK Mike, also in the house. Let's see, supposed to be 67. Yeah, Clarence says it's supposed to be 67 here in Twin Falls today. Today is the last of the warm summer-like weather that we're going to have. Tomorrow, it's supposed to be windy, very windy. It's supposed to get down to like 24 degrees. So I've got to, again, after the show, go out, shut down all the horse troughs that are out back, and re-winterize things out there. My son Garrett is in the house. Let's go, Brandon. Chip off the old block. K8DRTQRP is in the house here. Have yet to pick one up, but it's on the list for sure. And let's see, who do we have? You know what? A couple of other little housekeeping things that I have to talk about here. Yeah, still looking. Still got about 350 subscribers to go before I'll crack this thing open. I'm not just going to do this for any old person. Let's go over to camera one here. And yeah, the Packy One Chip Challenge, this is a 2021 edition. Supposed to be hotter. It has, let's see, California or Carolina Reaper and the Scorpion Reaper. It's supposed to hit you for the 1-2 punch. The Scorpion's supposed to hit you immediately, super hot, kill you in the right now, and then that Carolina Reaper is supposed to creep up on you after a couple of minutes and absolutely destroy you. I've never done one of these challenges before, but I'm willing to do it for you guys when we hit 38,000. So, you know what? Share this video, share the other little videos that I'm doing with your clubs. Share the one I did, to advertise this thing. And let's get some new blood, more subscribers in here. I'm also going to work on doing some kind of a giveaway. Don't know what yet, don't know how I'm going to do it or what I'm going to do, but definitely want to do some sort of a giveaway for 38,000. So, do have a little something over here. Last week, we had this issue. This was my old router that died right in the middle of the show, of the live show last week. This thing is garbage. Done. I picked these things up, a set of these Eros, and very, very cool little deal. Let me go over to camera 3. The dogs are barking in the background, and you can't see them in camera 3 because my mic boom is in the way. But all that stuff is up here. I have one extra one of these. This is going to go into Studio B when this one's done. But these things, holy crap, the internet here is screaming fast. It is just bitching. So far right now, we got 13 people in the chat. Actually, 16 in the chat right now. Steve LeBlanc is in the house from Canada. And without any further ado, let me go ahead and bring in our guest for today. I'm going to bring in Scott, KK7AIR. Scott, how you doing, buddy? Uh-oh, I'm not hearing Scott. I'm not hearing any. Are you guys hearing anything from him? Because I'm not. Anything? I've got nothing coming in on audio. No. Zero audio from you. I don't know what's going on. The guest has muted himself. Uh-oh. Scott went away. So it's just you and I for a few minutes. He's going to try to work on his issue, and he'll be right back, I'm hoping. There he is. Coming right back in. And we'll put him right back in. Scott, are you with us now?
Any luck?
Yes. There you are.
All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
no, you had yourself muted.
Yeah, I did. It wasn't checked, but I see the microphone working now.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this is my friend from the old country, Scott, KK7AIR. And Scott lives in a little town called Georgetown. And obviously, Scott, you're, yes, same, no video or audio from Bob. From MR Rice. Okay. Let's see. But then again, I'm hearing you. I could see that you're going out. Do you got a mic that'll get you a little bit closer, maybe?
How about that? Is that better? 1, 2,
Yeah,
3, 4.
It's a little light, but yeah, that'll do.
All right.
So anyway, Scott, you're obviously in a hangar right now. So we're looking at a couple of your airplanes. You're looking at one of my favorites back there.
Yeah, the Carbon Cub on amphibs, and then this. We just picked up a RV7, and I went to Auburn, which usually takes me about 8 minutes. We went down to Auburn to lunch, and it was 200 miles an hour downhill, and it was 4 minutes wheels to Auburn.
Wow.
And the 180s in the background, the 1955 180.
Yeah, I love that 180. That thing is just, you know what? It's nostalgic, and it's just cool. But your Carbon Cub, now, that thing is in a world of its own. Anyway, we're not here to talk about airplanes necessarily, but we'll get into some airplanes. That'll be kind of cool. So anyway, we're here to talk about the Peovi, and I'm gonna run over here to camera 4, and this, my friends, is the Peovi ham radio mount. I guess right now, Scott, this is the only one you've got out.
Yep.
So this was built for the 705. And let's go back to camera 2. Ah, crap. It didn't do what I wanted it to do, was go back. So, oh well. Let's see. Oh, so Garrett says that there's audio lag. Oh well, I can't do anything about it.
I could switch to a different Wi-Fi if you want to give me a second, because sometimes we have different multiple carriers here. I could try a different carrier.
Okay. Okay.
All right, I'll be
I'll
back.
let you do that. I'll go into my deal here, and we'll read a couple of the comments in the thing. How are you guys doing today? How kind of looking? Well, you know what? Hell, let's open up the phone lines, and we'll take a call in real quick here, and then when Scott gets back, we'll get back to Peovi mounts, Peovi camera mounts. So I'll keep that up in case anybody wants to jump in here. And Scott is back already, so we'll jump in here. Scott, whoa, much better.
Is it?
Let's see. I got to go back here and put you back in. Oh wow, what a difference in picture quality. But I can't hear you.
My going.
I can barely hear you. Oh.
Man.
Okay, Scott went away for a few minutes. Man, I'm sorry, guys. Normally, I try to get these things figured out, sorted out before we start the show. But Scott is a busy man down there in California, and he couldn't. So he is coming back in now. We're gonna put him back into the right. You there?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, it's just I think small town Wi-Fi is what we got, Bob. Sorry about that.
Yeah, hey, no problem, my friend. So anyway, Scott, before something else goes wrong here, because this show is notorious for having shit go wrong. So first of all, the name Peovi or POV. What does it mean? How'd you come up with the name?
Yeah, so POV is a point of view, and our motion picture side has to do with camera mounts. So in a script, if you're what the dog sees, it's a story about a dog, let's say, and then you see you're going in with the camera into the bowl of food. That's a POV shot. Okay, it's the point of view of whatever the subject is. And on the slates that we do, the old fashioned slates, it'll say POV. It's a so those words and letters have been taken a long time. Popper, Oscar, Victor. There's also kind of a term in the adult film world of POV that we didn't want to be combined with. So really, POV is a play on words, and it's just a kind of an Italian, a made up word that sounds a little bit Italian, maybe. That it's POV, but it's pronounced POV, just like Popper, Oscar, Victor. So that's it, really, and it's been around, 8 years now. And previously I did aircraft camera mounts, and the POV company does everything but aircraft. It's all ground-based camera mounts.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Very cool. Let's see. So, how long have you guys been in business? How long have you been doing the camera mounts?
Yeah, so I did not graduate high school. I started making camera mounts in the mid 80s with a Makita drill and a hammer in my backyard, and they sold. I mean, people actually bought them, and I worked for different cameramen, and that turned into basically a one-off camera mount business where there'd be a script and they'd say, "Oh, camera on roller coaster," and I'd get a call and I'd spend a couple weeks in the backyard under the avocado tree, and here we go. We'd have a camera mount, and it was a lot of metal conduit and and just one off. You'd get the shot and then you'd throw it away, that kind of thing. So that slowly evolved from 1984 into a pretty substantial company in the aerospace world as far as camera mounts go.
Huh. Very, very cool. That's interesting. You know what? I've never heard that story before. And how long have we've known each other for several years now?
Yeah,
You came into the Sierra Foothills Amateur Radio Club. What, about 4 or 5 years ago?
yeah. I had this railroad caboose in my backyard that was a guest house that nobody used. They used the real guest house. So I just looking for another hobby besides airplanes and cameras and all these other things. Whoa, this would be a great ham radio shack. And so, yeah, kind of just jumped in and got into the local club here, met Bob, and good friendship. And, we're going to do flying. I'm going to get up there with one of these planes, and we're going to get some flying done this summer coming up,
Oh yeah,
2022.
yeah. Well, you know what? I've my next door neighbor. I don't know if I've told you this. My next door neighbor. He's big time into bush planes. He's got a couple of them, along with a. I think he's got a Bonanza twin that he takes all over the country. But we're building a landing strip behind the house here on the
Oh
40
wow,
acres behind
wow.
the house. So you could
All
you
right,
could
cool.
fly in and literally land at my house.
Okay, we'll do it. Yeah, the
I
carpet
come
sounds
pick you
perfect.
up in the golf cart.
Right on. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Let's see. How long have you been a ham?
Well, I think about 3 to 4 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. Yeah. So, uh, I technician and then general, and someday I'll get into the extra deal. But right now, I haven't ran HF for a while. We've been really busy, which is kind of surprising. But we have been, and the cages are going well, and a lot of our other products are doing really well. So it's just been a lot of fun, and you know, I'll tell you, Bob, this thing. I'm sure you'll get to it, but this started out as a gift for you.
I was just going to ask you, how did the whole POV 705 thing happen?
Yeah, I wanted to start doing some HF in the airplane, and when the 705 came out, it's perfect because you got the battery. It's just the perfect setup. I was trying some other radios. I had to carry a battery with me, and so when the 705 came out, um, yeah, I just didn't have a really good way to mount it into the plane or carry it, and I dropped a camera or maybe two, not out of the plane into the air, but when you're getting out of a plane, they're kind of high up, and I had dropped some things that basically broke once they hit the ground. So the light bulb came on that yeah, it needed a handle and a way to mount it. And then when I heard you were getting one, well, that's it. I'm going to make two. That's it. Design it and make two, and that's it. Call it over. That was the idea.
That is freaking awesome. So anyway, the story is, guys, Christmas, what was it, last year or the year
Yeah.
before? I can't
No,
remember.
last
I
year.
guess it was last year Christmas. I get a package from Scott. I have no idea what it is. I open it up. It's like, boom, dude, this is for your 705. I was like, wow, that's cool. I attach it and I made a quick little video, basically just to show it off and say, hey, hey, nah, 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 I got this. And you motherfuckers, none of you motherfuckers got one because there's only two in existence. and, and anyway, so what happened after that? I made a video about it, just showing it off, and what happened?
Oh, geez, I started getting emails immediately, and that it's it. One, thank you, but it wasn't. We weren't planning on it being a product. We were really just like, I'm gonna design it as best I can, and and we went from there. And so many emails came in around Christmas, which normally the company gets the whole 2 or 2.5 weeks off. They don't even come in, and that perfect time. Uh oh. So I called some of the guys. Can you just come in? Just keep things running. And we blasted through, I think, 100 or something just to get the orders because God, there's such a delay in this new world of anodizing. Anodizing used to take a couple days. It's 2 weeks now, and so you gotta roll. But because of you, Bob, we have been making them nonstop.
That's awesome. That is really cool. Um, so roughly, and I don't need your exact numbers because I'm not the IRS, but about how many of you have you guys made and sold?
How many have we made and sold?
A lot.
A lot. Yeah, I I don't know, Bob.
I mean, is a lot,
uh,
100, 1,000, a
oh
million?
no, no. I think I'm just kind of guessing that we're at. I don't know, maybe between two. You know what? We do 100 a week, so 5,600.
Wow, that is incredible.
Yeah, it's great.
5,600.
Now, when we sell one of these things, we make quite a bit of money,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's really this is our first lower priced object, let's say. So the quantities is what keeps it going. Because they go to HRO with the discount, of course, and they're marketing them, and Martin Lynch in England, and those are two main distributors. And we still get some web orders, but mainly it's HRO and Martin Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
It's just easier. We're really not set up to do the packages that we were doing before. We made some mistakes. We sent the wrong all of that. I think we're behind it, and we've been pretty well consistent with the builds, and the quality's good. It's definitely different, and it's been exciting. The best thing is every week, almost every day actually, I get an email of somebody that put it together, and they take their time to write me the quality, and that means a lot because we we machine our we're machining all the edges. We're not just sandblasting it as they do in some countries. We're actually taking a cutter and going around and taking the time to machine them just like we would do any other part. So these letters that I get, it just is the icing on the cake, man. It's and some of them are engineers and aerospace engineers or just a ham person that said, hey, I've never seen such a high quality product in the ham world before. So these are the things that just light the fire, and keep us going and make us want to do more and make more products.
That is freaking cool. That is 100% the American dream, and that is what the ham radio business is kind of all about. Is somebody has an idea, they think, well, maybe this will be kind of cool. And you didn't even think it was going to be a thing. I mean, this was a business born out of an accident or a gift or whatever you want to say. It just, I think it's amazing that you were able to start a viable business, and what you basically have somebody that's full-time making the POV ham, the 705 mounts.
Yeah. So the machine that the machine's done on is a Japanese machine that's $1 million, and it feeds itself, because each one of these is about an hour and a half of machining, and then they go into about an hour of hand polishing each one, which is kind of unheard of. So it's really easy to make something out of a flat piece of metal and then sandblast the edges and then anodize it. We're not going that route. We're spending a lot of time on the actual machining in the edges, and that's it. You kind of need a microscope maybe or whatever, but just like any other aircraft or the high dollar mounts we make, we're just putting the same kind of effort in.
See, now that is so cool. Now you kind of alluded to the other countries, and I'm kind of thinking, so how do you deal with, say, the Chinese ripoffs? Because I know they're out there already, aren't they?
Yeah, and they're different. And you know what? And they wrap the whole thing. And if you feel like that's what you need, then that's what you need. We're so happy with what we're doing, and the quantities are fine, and the distributors are fine. What else do you want? We got employees. It just if that's what you want to do and you like that one, there you go. You got more choices. That's my attitude.
There you go. There you go. So let's see. K8DRT asks, any new accessories, doodads, or whatnots coming for the cage?
Yeah. So Scott Bastian of Sidekick KX, he he sent me last week. This is the prototype, and it's not the color or clarity of the real ones. He sent me, and they're not here. We were hoping they'd be here. A pretty good quantity of polycarbonate single piece covers. Um, so we're getting them in, and they'll be on our website soon. They he's made them for the Elecraft, the KX line, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And he came out and made a single piece unit at great expense. I guess plastic world is, the molds are crazy, but it basically snaps in between our handles, and it's just awesome, Bob. It fits really great, and it's durable as heck. It just snaps in, and
I like it.
they'll be clear. But look at this. I physically cannot break this piece. Anyway, spot on from our friend Scott Bastian. And this is a great accessory. It's going to be just around $40.
Mm-hmm.
If you knew how much the mold cost and the quantities we're dealing with, you'd go, okay, I get it. These are worth it.
Well, and I know that, in the manufacturing world, the Chinese can probably build a thing for 60 cents or something and sell it for 25, but they're probably going to be using much inferior materials and manufacturing methods. So it would probably be brittle. It'll probably break in 6 months or less. And it's definitely not going to be that kind of flexible where I think that looks like that would take a definite hit.
Yeah, and basically, Bob, I'm not a plastic guy, but talking to Scott, the one piece polycarbonate takes a pretty complicated mold at great expense, and he's making these in California. So another U.S. It's just, it might be expensive for some, but the quality is up to par with what we want to strive for. So it's going to be a good partnership, and $40 for $1,000 radio. I'd buy one. Again, if you don't have the kind of dough, or you don't think you need it, whatever. But I think it's reasonable for a USA product.
I do too. And honestly, you spend $1,200-$1,300 for a radio, and it's a radio built to take outside in the elements and go hiking with and do things. And you want to protect it.
Yeah, and see, it just snaps. It just snaps right into our handle. It's maybe hard to see. Let me get it up there. See, he has got.
Oh, look at that.
The feature.
Let me zoom in on you here. That is very. See, that is insanely cool. I love that.
Yeah, and it fits, and it just goes right in. Done.
I'll tell you, when you talk to him the next time, tell him to send me one. I would.
Okay.
I will definitely pump the hell out of that, because I love the Peovi cage, and I know that it adds quite a bit of bulk or I guess front end depth to the radio. When let me go over to camera 4 here, and where we can really look at it, and I've got something else on here, but the cage itself fits fantastic, and it bolts in from the bottom, which I absolutely love. This was your additional little doodad that you sent me after you first manufactured the thing. You did that new one, but it's slim. What gives it the bulk, though, is the side handles, and I guess you could take them off, but I think this is the bulk of your protection. I could put this thing down, drop it right down on the table, and it's not touching any of the controls. So you buy a cage, number one, for protection. Am I wrong, Scott?
No, you're right on the money. From the motion picture world, our cages are basically, one, to add accessories to the camera, and two, for some protection. Again, you have a $100,000 camera. It's not protected everywhere around it. It's got some places that you wouldn't want to drop it, and but it's what we try to do is protect the things that matter, the knobs, the screens, and that's our philosophy with our cage.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the back end's kind of tough. It could probably take a fall or two. The front end is where the fragile stuff is. So that's what we're doing: protection and some accessorization.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is really, really bitching. Let me get you back into the picture here, with both of us in the picture. I love it. Any other accessories or any other ideas for the 705 mount coming up? One thing that I thought would be insanely cool is if almost like a gooseneck or a collapsible kind of a gooseneck thing, because a lot of guys take these radios and they go do POTA, they go do SOTA, and that's something that they want to Either they want to video it for their own self, or they're doing YouTube channels. A lot of guys are doing YouTube channels kind of based on Soda and Poda. And I think it would be so cool to be able to hang a GoPro off the mount and have it hold itself nice and steady while you're operating. I guess imagination is the only barrier you have for
Well, yeah,
for
yeah.
making things.
There is, because of the quarter 20s around, you're able to do some just generic camera mounts as you wish with the gooseneck right on it. Let me show you a couple things on this one. This is mine. This is the number. You have the first one. I have the second one. This is orange to match my plane, and
I love
this
that
is
color.
NATO clamp.
Wow.
And the NATO clamp that I built is basically the idea is you could rig from the top.
Mm-hmm.
So with a standard NATO clamp, you get on Amazon, you could come in and basically grab this from under the dash. That's how I'm doing it in my airplane. It takes me about, I don't know, 3 seconds to install this radio onto the NATO clamp.
That is so cool.
That's that one.
Mm-hmm.
And then you probably noticed that this one's got kind of a full wrap cage on it.
Yeah.
I've gotten a few emails, not a lot, and people have kind of twisted my arm into designing a full cage. They didn't want to use the Chinese one. They liked our quality. It's still in the works. Here's the deal: is that I'm not really interested in making something ugly and flat and cheap. I came up with this part, and
so that wraps the entire back of the radio.
Yeah, it's really hard. No, not hard. It's very time consuming to machine this. This is on a 5-axis machine. It nearly takes about 40 minutes to blow this out, and there's 2 of them. Blah blah blah. And here's the kicker: this this is the part of aluminum that one part comes out of, right? Okay, so moral of the story is this is not cheap, but we have a few customers that just said, hey, whatever it is, I want it. I love your stuff. Make it, and I'll buy it. And so we've got about a dozen orders of these really custom full wraps. I'll get you one, Bob. You've been so supportive.
I love that. I love the wrap idea. I probably wouldn't have it on every day, but definitely that I would rather that hit the ground if I'm backpacking, if I'm out hiking or doing POTA or something, then have the back of the radio hit the ground. I think everything bolted together, you've got a much better chance of keeping the radio in one piece.
Yeah, and it's not for everybody. Everybody's not climbing a mountain. And just before we went on live with you, this stuff came back from anodizing. So there's some out of these custom orders. These people wanted custom colors. So this is military, military gray, and then a red one. And again, this is just this is what I'm doing it for. Is that people love the product so much and have taken the time to write me and thank me for what we're doing, and convince me to make a few of these. We're not going to mass produce them, but it's a challenge, and we did it, and we're going to have happy customers.
Absolutely. Let's take a couple of questions, and remember, guys, I'm also looking for call-ins. If you want to call into the show, hey, we're up for that. We could take some calls, and let me put the number up here. I've got to go to go to this screen here. But anyway, 208-352-3819 if you want to be live on the show and ask Scott your question in person. And I've got to watch the phone because I've got it on silent so it doesn't just ring with the telemarketers coming in. But anyway, let's see. Clarence says a $40 investment you guys call a cage. He calls it an insurance plan. They're not giving these radios away. No, and I can attest to that. They are not giving the radios away. And even the guys that think that guys like me get all these radios for free, we don't. I pay for this stuff out of my own pocket. So the guys that support me, Patreon and everything, I love you guys. Thank you for supporting me. You are the guys that keep me basically in business. This is my business, making videos. Let's see. K8DRT QRP asks, are you planning any products for any other radios?
Yeah, the 991 is the most frequent request, but nothing in the numbers of the 705. And so at the moment, I don't have enough experience to know which radio really needs a cage.
So my personal opinion, this cage is such a natural for the QRP guy, for the portable operator, the guy that likes to take his radio out to POTA, SOTA, camping or outdoors. And the big radios that go outdoors with guys in that kind of a deal is like the KX3, the KX2, the Yaesu 8, what is it, the 817 and the 818 now. Those are the major ones. The mountain topper radios, though I don't know if there's a huge demand for that. But like the Zaiju, or I like to call them Zygu. Hang on here. I need to put you back in. I need a producer. If somebody wants to be a producer here at K6UDA Radio. I think those kinds of radios, the Zaiju, the 5105, I guess they've got the new 6000 coming out now. Those would be, I think, the naturals. The Zaiju radios, they're not terribly expensive. They're not $1,000 or $500, but I'll tell you what, $500 is $500. It's still a lot of money to me. It's a lot of money to you. And look at you. You got 3 airplanes behind you, all registered to you.
Yeah. It probably is not from radio cages, but every bit helps.
Yep. So it looks like we might have a call here. I'm gonna answer the phone, put that up, and put the audio on the roadcaster. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Oh. Hey, this is Scott, AK6Q from Gems Products. Just wanted to confirm that the covers are real, being produced for the Peovi cage for the IC705.
Oh, fantastic. That is awesome. So you've already got these things in production now?
They are in production. The mold just arrived last week from the fabricator, and it is now at the injection mold shop. And I will run 1,000 parts to get started here. And I will have them on my website, which is gemsproducts.com, the Sidekick stuff. As well, Scott will carry them through him and through his distributors like HRO.
That is awesome. That you know what? Here's another guy who's making products for ham radio. And I'll tell you what, drop me an email And I would love to have you on the show because you're making products for other radios, aren't you?
I am. I do the Elecraft KX line, so the KX2, KX3, PX3.
Mm-hmm.
I do the K line, which are the larger Elecraft radios, and I'm seen often at the trade shows with Elecraft. I work in their booth with them.
Okay.
And I also now make ICOM 7300 in panels. Those will be on my website hopefully before the end of the week, as well as the ICOM 705 covers that fit the Peovi cage by Scott.
Wow, that is awesome. That is
cool.
That is so cool. And I just love the fact that that you and Scott are making things for us hams, for us average guys to protect our equipment, to enhance our having fun in the hobby. And you guys are helping, you're actually helping, even though it's not a radio and it's a support piece, but it makes operating a little bit more enjoyable. And what I love about that is that all this kind of stuff, it just shows that, you know, us average guys, I am an average guy. I don't call myself an average ham. I call myself an average guy. I am a non-technical guy. I'm not an engineer. I didn't come from a broadcasting background where I've done this for a living. I was a cop in a cop car doing, you know, cop stuff. And here I am now, able to, you know, I have a great time playing on the radio. I have a great time bringing you guys, my friends out there, all this cool stuff, you know, Peovi, mounts and sidekick stuff, the sidekick covers. Man, that is so cool. Seriously, send me an email, k6udaradio@gmail. I would love to have you on the show off all your stuff, because it looks like, you know, and I've got the sidekick mounts on my KX3. So I've also got the KX3, and I have I've got the cover too, the little plastic cover. And this was years ago that I bought that stuff.
Right. I remember that. And I, like you, am retired law enforcement. So I didn't come from a huge technical background either, but I do have some ability in design work, and I've partnered with some great people to build my products locally in Southern California. I no longer live there, but I did. And yeah, that's kind of how it all came to be. Yeah, I'd love to be on the show. I will send you an email. We'll coordinate that. And yeah, look forward to the IC 705 covers. They are polycarbonate, so they're very, very durable and flexible, just like the other covers I make for the Elecraft stuff.
That is awesome. Very, very cool. Hey, thanks for the call, and we'll let another caller in, or I'll take a couple on the chat. Couple of questions on the chat here. Well, actually, why don't you stay on the line?
Another smart guy got out of California, Bob.
Excuse me?
Another smart guy got out of California.
Yeah. Oh, very, very cool. Yeah, why don't you stay on the line? Let's see. Kevin, KC3ONO, says he would love front protection for his Yaesu FTDX10, which is kind of that smallish base HF radio. So there's another possible deal. Now, Scott, how do you, if you were to make mounts for other radios, you're going to have to obviously get either the exact replica or get a radio to be able to measure it and put it all together, aren't you?
You know, it's interesting that
what I've had to do is buy these on my own. And when I started with the Elecraft, I reverse engineered the KX3. Since then, I've partnered with them, and I now have access to their technical drawings, so I don't have to reverse engineer anymore. But yeah, for example, the Yaesu 10, I would have to buy the radio and I'll reverse engineer it and see what I can come up with. So that's a great idea. I haven't looked at that radio. It's new out, so I'm not real familiar with it. I know what it is, but boy, right after that, I'm kind of lost.
Yeah. No, I feel for you
Got
guys
two
because you
Scots,
got to buy
Bob.
radios just to make the product. Well, I do too, in a different way. But sometimes I could just borrow one from somebody. Anyway, let's see. Oh, the phone call needs to be picked up a little bit. Let me pop the volume up on the phone. And good. Let's see. And Scott, what did you've got to get you would obviously have to get the radios too, right? To be able to make the mounts?
Exactly, yeah.
You got two Scott.
Yeah, I have to, generally I purchase them on my own and design off of that. And then actually all my other crafts I've kept. The IC 705 I still have and use. I really enjoy that radio. But yeah, I have to see if there's a high enough demand for the product. In panels are a little easier to do than covers. In panels I can do kind of one-offs and figure them out. But the covers, I do a 3D print for design work, and then I have to have a mold cut. Molds are terribly expensive right now. They've doubled in price from what they were about a year and a half ago. And then, of course, plastics doubled. Everything has doubled. So, yeah, you'll see some price increases in the near future, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Okay. And AIR. Same question for you.
Yeah, so we have to laser scan the radio. Now, what's interesting is the 705 just recently, ICOM came out and released their step model, which is a 3D model in space. So people that are making accessories on 3D printers or whatever, they have the model. That luxury didn't exist when we made ours. So we take a radio, we have to spray it with white powder basically, and then laser scan it and get it into the computer as a 3D image, and then we could design it. And that's how you're able to get, in the case of this cage, just a 50 thou of space all the way around it. It's just a design process that you do, and it's part of the game. So yeah, you have to have the actual radio. Hey, Sarah, Sarah runs the show at Airfilm. Right there.
Well, hi, Sarah. How are you?
Hi.
I talk to you sometimes on the phone.
Yes. On the phone.
Nice to put a face to the name there and the voice.
Yes.
Sarah's been with our company about 15 years or something.
Yeah, since I was 18.
Yeah.
It's been a while. And now I'm 33, so.
She runs the show. It's all the employees, the whole bit. It's Sarah. I just design stuff.
Well, it's a team effort, but yes.
Very, very cool.
Thanks.
Do you work on do you build stuff too? Oh, she's gone.
She just runs the show. She makes it all happen.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. Let's see. Looking for some other questions. Somebody had asked just a second ago, how much for shipping to the UK? Or do you guys ship to the UK? AIR first.
Okay. We have a distributor who has them in stock, Martin Lynch and Sons, and they buy in quantity, so they're usually in stock. That's one option. Maybe the cheapest in shipping. The other one is on our website. If you put the address in, it does tell you the shipping. Next week we're changing websites, and it's probably going to have a better rate because we're paying more. Anyway, the point is that shipping can be estimated on the website or Martin Lynch.
Okay, very cool. And Sidekick Scott, how about you? Shipping to the UK?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do ship to the UK as well as most of the world. There's a few governmental restriction areas that I don't ship to, but for UK, most of my products will ship in a small flat rate U.S. Postal Service box. And off the top of my head, I believe the UK is right around $35 right now for the post office. I don't upcharge any of it, so it's whatever the post office charges.
Okay, very cool. Let's see. And I think, man, we're about done with the questions. Coming up on the end of the hour here, coming up to the top of the hour. So I'm now trying to get the show down to that hour because sometimes it runs way over. And the beautiful thing is I take little parts of this, some of the questions, some of the things, and I make their own videos. So these videos will they'll live a little bit longer, and guys will be able to see these things in shorter little chunks. So I think that helps. Let's see, 25 on the stream right now, and 27 thumbs up. Thank you, guys. YouTube has taken down thumbs down. So you can't even thumbs down the video anymore, or it doesn't show. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I kind of enjoyed it because it was, it gave me something to talk about. But let's see. So AIR, Scott, AIR, how big is your company? How many employees do you have? Or
we have around a dozen people and about $4 million in machining equipment. We process around 3,000 pounds of aluminum a week. Maybe 5% is the ham radio. We have a very large aircraft division that's world's leader, world's market share. So if you look up and you see a helicopter, whether it's fire, rescue, law enforcement, military, and the things that are hanging on it, like the lights, the speakers, sometimes laser beams, whatever, we don't make any of that. We make the brackets. And we have over 11,000 helicopters worldwide that have our equipment. So it's that's the bread and butter of the company. Then Peovi has the ground-based systems, and then a piece of that is the ham radio cage.
Wow, very, very cool. And looks like Josh from Ham Radio Crash Course is in the house, and Andy Cowley's in the house. Very cool. Let's see, and Scott, Sidekick Scott. How about you? Any employees, or how big's your company?
I am a one-man band from design to delivery. So I do it all, except I do farm out, like my injection molding goes to a different company, and they have 2 or 3 employees there. Mm-hmm. My metal work is done by another company that I've partnered with, and they have 2 or 3 employees. So it's all cottage industry, kind of mom and pop shops that I'm behind.
Okay. Very, very cool. Let's see. And Scott, AIR, you have a few other passions in life, and 3 of them are sitting behind you. Why don't you kind of tell us about that and your aeronautical mobile?
Yeah, so airplanes. 7 airplanes in the fleet right now, and it is a passion. Probably why I'm not married, I imagine. I fly a lot. I fly almost every day. Different kinds of planes. Some are slow, a little J3 Cub, and the RV is kind of quick, and a float plane. But I did some aeronautical last year, and I threw the antenna out the window and trailed it back, and that was a mess. I did get a contact on 20, and it was literally about underneath. I was over Lake Tahoe, and it was at Lake Tahoe, so it didn't go very far. But I've been working on a prototype for a wing deployer. just a small version of what they used in World War II, and basically it's going to deploy out to for 20 meters and deploy back in for landing. So yes, it may be 3 months away, and I'll have it all figured out and up on the airplane.
Very, very cool. That is awesome. Let's see. Clarence asks, do you recycle your non-used aluminum in order to get another bracket? I don't know how they would do that, but do you do that?
It's a good question. The on the main cage, we do get another part out of the cage. This part comes out of it, and yeah, and the hinges. So we get the maximum out of the block of aluminum. The scrap itself, no, the scrap is chips, and under the laws that we are under, we're not allowed to reform them or use them again in any way. They basically go to China and become Chinese products. So our trash goes over there and it comes back in.
Oh man, to me, that's a perfect opportunity for U.S. companies to be able to redo, become more self-sustainable. But U.S. laws, gotta love them. Yay.
Well, they're chips, Bob, and you can't do much with the chips either. You could form them into a brick or something, but you really the aluminum we're using is aircraft grade. It's X-rayed with certs. It's top quality aluminum. Because we're an aircraft factory, we can't even use metal from overseas. We have to use American metal by law. So that's just better quality.
Okay. And sounds like Scott, sidekick Scott, has somebody that walked into the office there. So Scott, I'm gonna say 7-3 to you right now. I'll let you get back to work. And yeah, you know what? We're now 3 minutes over. So which makes up for that 2-minute kind of pre-game let people get into the stream thing. Anyway, sidekick Scott, again, send me an email. Love to have you on the show and highlight your stuff there. And I will talk to you soon.
Great. Thanks, Bob. 7-3, everybody. Look on the website for the new parts.
And what's the website again?
It is GEMS, GEMS products.com.
Okay, real good. Gemsproducts.com. I'll put it in the information section below. 7-3.
Great. Thanks, Bob.
Okay. And man, that kind of brings you and I to the end of real quick. Let me make sure I got through most of the questions here. See, I put a list of questions up because I can't think of this stuff. Well, I can, but not on the fly. So, Scott, what are now I could just call you Scott and you'll know. What are your favorite modes to operate? A little bit about your ham radio thing, and then we'll get to the end of the show here.
Yeah, I've really been doing a lot of on 2-meter and just part of our morning net. It's just, I know the guys. You go to breakfast with them once a month. It's just fun to be part of the early net. I haven't been doing too much HF. I bought some heavy equipment for my yard, which is bulldozers, chippers, masticating machines. It was quite an investment. And so instead of doing my hobby of HF, I'm really trying to weed out the bush and so we don't have a major disaster in the forest next year. It's just waiting to go, as you know, in California. So I'll get back into the HF again after all the trees we want to grind up is ground up.
Yep. Oh, there go the wiener dogs on my end. They hear something outside and they go nuts. Let's see. Okay. Well, hey, Scott, thank you for being on the show today. Had a great time, and if you know what, you come up with some other stuff, I would love to hear about it. Love to get it out to the world for you, and maybe help you expand your business a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's almost been a year since Christmas, Bob, and I'll tell you, the people's email, the customers' emails we get, it's unbelievable. It's just thank you and thank the customers for this product. It's just great.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. Thanks again for being on the show. You can either hang out here and watch from the green room, and I'm going to jump back to my single camera over here and get ready to dump it out to the very end here. This has been a great show, and I want to thank Scott and Scott for being on the show, sharing their new products. And that brings us over here. Oh, crap. You know, that's the thing. I got to hit that button because it's live television. It doesn't always work. And all right, guys, again, you know what? I got to do this. I got to bring in the law of Mike. I need a producer. Somebody want to be a producer on K6UDA radio? Get a hold of me. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. This has been a lot of fun today. Had a great time. Remember, the Packy One Chip Challenge, when this channel hits 38,000. So share this video with your clubs, with your friends, because YouTube's telling me that everybody that's going to watch the show is watching the show, and nobody's ever finding it new. And if you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please hit the subscribe button, the bell notification, the like button. Smash that like button, or smash that dislike button, because that won't show up anymore. Anyway.